Hello and welcome to the Beyond the Years podcast, a podcast about all things Disney.
What is up, guys? I hope you guys are all doing well. We are so excited because we just got back from our trip to Disney World, and we've got a lot to discuss today. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half or almost 2 months since we've posted a podcast.
And in order for us to pay for all of the remaining expenses, we had to work a lot extra leading up to the trip.
Yeah.
Which was totally worth it.
Yeah, we were pretty wiped out, but we are good to go now.
Yeah. So today's episode's really just going to be an overall recap of our entire trip. Do you have anything you want to say before we start?
We've already are planning our next trip to Disney next year.
Yeah.
Literally, we left the hotel on Friday, the last day, and we're about an hour and a half or 2 hours into the drive back, and we got an email from our travel agent saying, hey, if you book within the next 7 days, you get 25% off of your value resort, 30% off your moderate resort, and 35% off your deluxe resort. So we were like, oh, don't twist my arm. So we got to call our travel agent later and book the trip.
Yeah.
So we're already going to be doing that.
Josh is really amped. I'm a little nervous about it just because I know how much it took for us to be able to do it this time. Yeah,
but when we booked our trip last time, we had 135 days.
Yeah. I know.
From when we booked.
I
now we have 380 days.
I think we can do it. I just know it scares me a little bit just because I know how much it took for us to be able to do it this time. But one thing that'll be better next time, I think, is the dining plan is coming back. Yep. And we will be doing that.
Yes.
So
it makes it easier. 100% easier.
It keeps the magic alive for sure because you're not having to swipe your card, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And oh man, we'll talk about it in the podcast, but God, sometimes like you go to pay for food and it's like, damn it. That's a lot of money.
It is a lot. So
I'm looking at you, Beauty and the Beast restaurant.
Yeah. I don't necessarily regret that though, because Grayson got to see the Beast and that was super fun for him. The desserts were really good. But let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start when we left for the trip. So just to give a little bit of context for everybody, we decided to drive for several reasons. But needless to say, it's a 17-hour drive from where we live. And that's a long drive with a toddler. So we left Friday morning at 1 a.m. We both worked Thursday, full days. Went to bed at 10 p.m. Woke up at midnight. Left by 1.
Yeah, we left. We were on the road at 1 a.m.
Literally on the dot. Yep. And Grayson woke up when we did the transfer to the car, which
we kind of expected.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure how that was going to go, but he did wake up for a little bit, but he was in a good mood because we're like, we're going to Disney right now. It's happening. So.
Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, he was up for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And by the time we were driving by my work, he was already passed back out. So it wasn't like too bad. And then he slept for about 2.5 hours and then was up for about 20 minutes again. And then he fell back asleep for about 2 hours. Yeah, because he fell back asleep.
Yeah, because he woke up at 4 because we stopped at that gas station to go potty.
Yeah.
I say potty. I don't think he got out of the car.
No,
we went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
and
we
got
both
gas.
had to pee and we had to get gas.
Yeah, we made a lot of bathroom breaks
on the way back.
Especially with Grayson on the way back, but we'll talk about that later. So, I don't want to get too caught up on the whole travel part. I'm so glad we left in the middle of the night because it made it go by much faster on the way there. Mm-hmm. We did stay in Tallahassee, Florida.
So we could be close to the beach.
Yeah,
That's the only
Friday
reason we stayed
night.
there.
Because we didn't think we could do a full 17 hours straight, because we knew it would be much longer than 17 hours with the amount of stops we'd probably have to make. So we stayed the night in Tallahassee, woke up pretty early, went to the beach. Grayson's first time at the beach. So we decided to pick a beach that was more designed for like walking around, picking up seashells, that kind of thing.
Which is ironic because we went to Shell Point
yeah,
Beach in Tallahassee or whatever you want to call it.
That
Tallahassee area.
Yeah. And it was pretty magical to see Grayson at the beach for the first time. I was surprised he didn't really care too much about looking for shells, because that was like all I wanted to do was find shells with him. I thought he would want to like explore and kind of dig for shells and that kind of thing, but he was really just all about splashing in the water.
Yeah, that and running in the sand, playing in the sand, which as we're talking, I'm scrolling through pictures, so I like kind of know where we're at.
Yeah.
But it was super pretty down there.
Yeah, it was a really fun beach if you're not wanting to swim.
Mm-hmm.
You could still swim. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't. It's just
there's a lot of seaweed, like high seaweed in this in the part that we were at, and I think you'd have to go out a couple 100 feet.
Yeah, we're both kind of scared, so we didn't want to do that anyway.
Well, and here was my thing. The whole time I was thinking, I was like, literally, we're gonna step on something or something freaking like bite us or like something to ruin the beginning of the trip before we even get to Disney World. That's literally all I could think about, was because I was thinking, oh, Grayson's gonna run and he's gonna trip and like sprain his ankle, or like you were gonna sprain your ankle or cut your foot open on like a rock or a shell or just anything like that, and like then you're gonna be like limping around the whole trip, or Grayson was gonna just be like super fussy. So I was like, oh God, please just let this beach trip go smooth, which it did.
Yeah.
But it was just like at the back of your mind, you're like, please don't let anything happen.
Yeah, so we didn't rush at the beach, but we definitely didn't stay for a long time. What was it,
like an hour and a half maybe?
Yeah. Grayson did not want to leave, but you and I were both like, we got to get on the road.
Well, yeah, because we had to get some sleep before we woke up to drive the rest of the trip.
Oh shoot, I forgot we did that
at
night.
Yeah.
Because we ended up getting to Tallahassee like earlier than we thought we were going to. Yeah, because we left a lot earlier than we were planning on. That's right. I was, for some reason, when we were making the plan initially, we were going to go in the morning.
Yeah.
But we went in the evening, and it was like 5 o'clock. So it was still daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we were rushing him back because we needed to get everything in the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, which was another thing. It was like every hotel you stay at, we're like, what do we do? Do we bring everything into the hotel with us?
Mm-hmm.
Or do we leave some stuff out there? So it was like a pick and choose game, because like we don't know the area that we're staying at, and we don't know like what's going to happen. So we were like, screw it. We'll just bring everything inside.
Yeah.
And we did that at every resort, or at the other hotel that we stayed at on the way back too.
Okay, so let's fast forward to the next day. We wake up pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what time.
I think we ended up leaving around 7.
Okay, because we got breakfast at the hotel.
Yeah, and it was from Tallahassee to Art of Animation was, I think, like 4 hours, or like 3 hours and like 3 hours and like 48 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was not too like long of a drive, but like long enough.
Yeah, with a toddler, anything over like 2 hours is a long drive. So when we got into Orlando area, we got pretty dang excited.
Yeah, it was on.
Yeah. Well, once we crossed the Florida, I guess that was the day before.
Yeah, it was the day before.
It's all kind of jumbling up in the beginning.
Yeah, just because it was like so much. Yeah, when you got into Florida, like Florida's so long, it's like you just keep driving forever, and you're like, crap, am I even getting close to this freaking resort?
Yeah.
But we got to Orlando, and we're like 10 minutes from, or like, I think we were 10 minutes from our Art of Animation. And we called my mom and sister to let them know, like, hey, we're in Orlando. Like, we're about to, like, get on a Disney property. And, like, we're turning on to, like, Walt Disney World Way or whatever the heck it's called. And then we drive under the Walt Disney World sign. And that was, like, oh.
For how long we drove, like, I wasn't expecting that sign to come up when it did. Like the big arch, and it surprised me, and it was just a very exciting moment. So from that moment on until we actually got to the resort, we got it all on video. I recorded things on my phone. Josh recorded things on his phone throughout the trip, and then I also recorded things on my camera for my other YouTube channel. And also just for us to have in the future. I think it's going to be really fun memories to look back on.
Yeah. Especially next year to see like how much he's grown.
Yeah. I haven't even looked at the videos on my camera, but because there's so many, but we got all of those moments captured, and it's just magic. But that 10 minutes or so from the arch till, we actually got to drive to the resort, it was just so exciting because we got to see the Skyliner for the first time, and it was for some reason so much more grand than I expected. And of course our hotel was just magical.
Yeah, we walked, so like we had Grayson use his magic band to open up the door, and then we had an issue, like it didn't want to let us in.
No, so we got parked. We did the mobile check-in, which is so nice. You don't have to go to the desk or anything. You can do pretty much everything on your phone at Walt Disney World because there's so many guests. They make it really easy to just be in charge of your own thing.
Yeah.
So there was an option to unlock the door on your phone. So I'm like, okay, we don't need a magic bands. We don't want to carry up all of our luggage with us right now. We just want to see the room. So we go up there, and you have to do some special thing to link your phone to like your magic band. And I hadn't done it, and I was like, oh, dang it. So then
it was
the boys had to run down and get the magic bands out of the car. I don't know why we didn't grab them the first place, but it doesn't matter. And then we opened the door. We let Grayson walk in first to the Little Mermaid rooms at Art of Animation, and of course, we captured it on video. It was a very special moment. Just so cute. I mean, the rooms are exactly like the pictures. Disney keeps everything very pristine, very clean. You don't have to worry.
Everything's like the same. Every room's the same.
Yeah. So like the other hotels we stayed at on the way there and on the way back, like we had an incident at my work where one of our employees had like bed bugs in their house, and it was a whole thing. And so both of the resorts that we stayed at, like on the way up and on the way back, I like fully inspected everything. But I didn't even think about it at Disney because you just know, like it's
clean.
It's super clean. They like bleach the heck out of the sheets. It's just pristine. But anyway, the rooms.
Great.
Super great.
And it was fun because like the TV has it set up on like their like home screen, and it says welcome Long and Reeves family, obviously because Ashley and I are married, but that's what it said on the TV. And I was like, holy crap, like this is amazing. And I think Ashley and I both like teared up a little bit because it was just like we were finally there. It was finally like time to just like have fun and relax.
Yeah, because we had to work so hard to get there. And this was our first real family vacation, just the three of us.
Yeah.
That was more than just like a couple nights away. I mean, we've done things like with your mom and sister, like a long weekend.
Yeah.
But you, me, and Gray have never done a vacation.
Nope.
And so this was a huge moment for all of us. And for it to be Disney World, there's just so much that went through you and I's brain because we didn't get to experience something like that at Grayson's age. And so there's just knowing that we're starting that magic when he's 3, just something very special about that. And I know one day he'll appreciate it more when he
gets bigger.
He had a blast, and I know he loved it. But I think when he's an adult, he'll appreciate that he got to go at such a young age.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like you said, like we never had something like that. Like we went on vacations as a kid, yes, but nothing to that caliber, and especially at a 3.5-year-old's age. So it was crazy. So we got there. Obviously, we walked around the resort. That's like the first thing we did, because we had to go to reservations for
T-Rex,
which was awesome too. But Grayson was very fussy when we were headed that way, which was, I don't blame him, because it was a long drive. But it was just like, oh, come on, dude, you got to just focus up.
Yeah, there was definitely some hard moments for sure. Definitely some things that I would do differently next time. But I'm trying to think. So we got everything up into the room. We walked around the resort, and then we hopped on the bus.
We hopped on the bus to go to Disney Springs.
Right.
And so that was kind of cool, because it was like the first bus ride, and we barely caught the bus. Remember, it was loading up the Disney Springs bus when we walked over there.
Right when we walked up, yeah.
I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Because if we wouldn't have made that, we would not have made our reservations, I don't think, because we were cutting it really close.
I think you just stress out a lot. There's a good grace period at Disney.
Yeah. Well, either way, it was like,
yeah,
we're gonna have to drive over there.
Yeah. So we arrive at Disney Springs. We pretty much went straight to the restaurant. It was good. It was exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting for him. He was a little fussy, like we said, because I think it was a combination of tired and hungry, but he refused to eat, and there's just a lot going on. So like the first day for him, the first like 2 days for him were really like just him trying to settle into what we're doing. Yeah. Because it's totally out of routine, and he's very like, we have a routine at home, and that's what we do. This is very out of routine, so he was very like, So.
And physically traveling has a lot of impact on your body and how your body functions.
Yeah.
So, he had a rough time the first couple days. Yeah. With like constipation.
Yeah. Very tummy achy.
And stuff like that.
Yeah. But next year we will know what to do.
Miralax it up.
Yeah.
So T-Rex was good. Josh and I went there last time 5 years ago. We stayed, the room we were in, or the area we were in this time around, was like the
ice age, or not ice age, but like the ice cavern area. And it was practically right next where we were last time, but we weren't in the ice cave last time.
Yeah. Overall, it was a fun experience.
Yeah. So much fun.
And then after that, I'm just trying to keep it moving. Yeah, no, because we've got some really fun stuff. Obviously, we want to talk about in detail later. More about the parks. So after T-Rex, we went shopping around Disney Springs. We got some snacks.
Yeah, Disney Springs really like wasn't as fun as I remembered it last time.
It was so busy. And we didn't necessarily find anything that we wanted to buy without having gone to the parks first. So honestly, I think next time we probably would just completely skip Disney Springs. Just skip it completely.
Yeah, because I'd rather do that and go to like a resort to eat and then like shop in a resort.
Yeah, you can do what's called resort hopping. Because we drove our own car, obviously, and you just tell the person at the gate that you're resort hopping, and they just let you in. And so every resort has a gift shop, and every resort's gift shop has stuff unique to that resort.
Yeah.
We did that at the Polynesian and Animal Kingdom Lodge. Well, the Polynesian we ate at, but we went to their gift shop and it was fantastic. So for me, I'd rather explore the resort a little bit more next time and just skip Disney Springs.
Yeah, I agree. Because there was the only restaurant we wanted to eat at is T-Rex, and it's kind of like, well, it's the same thing as last time. Steak and this scallop shrimp soup thing or whatever.
And for some reason, we went to the cafeteria right before that. Well, I was like 2 hours before. I was starving, and I got like a full meal.
I know. I was like, I don't know why you ate before.
I was so hungry.
Yeah, I know. But I was just like, what in the world?
Yeah. So that was our first day. I definitely like the idea of not doing a park the first day and just kind of exploring and nothing too crazy. Because once you start going to the parks, it's a little wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you really got to settle in. The first, like we said, we got there at like noon, and it was just a lot after you get everything settled in or brought inside, and you kind of like relax for a little bit. It's like, whew, man, like you just want to take a nap, really, because that's all I was thinking about. It was like, man, I'm tired. I'm sure Grayson's tired. It's like, crap.
Yeah, the nap thing was definitely a challenge for us. I would say like half the trip, because he still takes a nap pretty much every day. And I feel like he really needs that nap, even though he doesn't think he does. And he'll fight it. I feel like he still needs it, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And he definitely fought it hard.
Yeah.
About half the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, multiple times. Fought it.
Yeah. So let's move on to our first official day at the parks.
Okay.
Sunday. So in 2023, you still have to do a park reservation. So when we planned our trip, we kind of planned out which parks we thought we would want to go to each day. So the first day was Epcot. It's September, so it's the Food and Wine Festival, which we planned because we love to eat.
Yes.
And it was fun.
And the food wine, and it's so good.
Yeah. So first day we tried to rope drop pretty much every single day. This was our first experience with the Skyliner.
And what an experience it was.
It was a big learning experience. So the Skyliner is in between Pop Century and Art of Animation Resort on a bridge.
Yeah, it's on Hourglass Lake.
Yeah. And we walk up. I don't remember what time it was.
It was almost like, it was like 7:45.
So
7:50-ish.
Skyliner, yeah, Skyliner opens at 7:30 to start transportation. And we knew very little about how the Skyliner actually worked until we learned the hard way, basically. So we walk up, and the line is like wrapped halfway around this freaking lake. And we're like, no. We're like, we're going to take the bus. So we walk. It's hot, by the way. So we walk all the way from the Skyliner to where the buses are. And there's little signs on the Epcot and Hollywood Studios buses that says, please take the Skyliner. So they don't run buses for Epcot and Hollywood Studios anymore because they have the Skyliner. And we didn't know that. So then we had to run all the way back to the end of the line. And it was a little frustrating. You and I were both a little frazzled.
Yeah.
Grayson was fussy.
Yeah. And at this time, by the time we walked over and walked back, it was like 8:10, 8 o'clock, like 8:10 something.
Yeah. And then we had to wait in line for 25-30 minutes. It moves fast. The line does move fast because the Skyliner is constantly moving.
But what slows it down is people that are in wheelchairs, because they have to stop the thing and like, or not stop it, or if they're like, if you're elderly and you're walking, they have to slow the Skyliner down or stop them completely sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it also depends on the workers too. Like, there's just so much that goes into it. So that first day in particular, the line went a little bit slower than it did the rest of the week. So we hop on the Skyliner. I feel like we should do a whole episode just talking about the Skyliner.
Yeah,
because we have so much to say. We hop on the Skyliner and it takes us to, is it Caribbean Beach?
Yeah, first is Caribbean Beach.
You have to get off.
Yep, and you do a transfer.
So, yeah, the first one is just Pop Century Art of Animation to Caribbean Beach, and that's like a transport station. So everybody has to get off the Skyliner, and then you move to another one.
Yep. So you either go straight to Hollywood Studios, or on another Skyliner line, or you go to Epcot, which takes you to the Riviera first, and then from the Riviera it takes you to like a turning station, which you just stay in your Skyliner the whole time. So from there you go straight to Epcot after that, and then you get off and it takes you to the World Showcase entrance of Epcot, which is something that we didn't know either, because we're like, oh wow, like we're right at the World Showcase part.
Yeah, so we'll, thinking about it now, I think we'll probably do an episode just talking about the Skyliner, because we've got lots of podcast ideas.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Disney, for fueling all those.
Yes. So we're at Epcot, which is my absolute hands down favorite park.
Yeah, same here.
Hands down, like no competition.
Yeah,
loved it.
Yeah, it was so much fun, and I think last time I really enjoyed Epcot. Well, last time we went, but this time it was just like even better, because I think we're both extremely excited for Epcot.
So, what was the first ride we did? Was it Nemo?
Yep, Nemo. We rode Nemo first, and then we rode Living with the Land. And then after that, we rode something.
Spaceship Earth, right?
Oh, yep, Spaceship Earth. Because
Grayson, yeah. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast or not, but because we love Epcot so much, we've been talking about Spaceship Earth, or what Grayson calls the big ball. We've been talking about that for months. And so when he saw Spaceship Earth from a distance for the first time, which by the way we captured on video, is so freaking precious, he was so pumped up and he was so excited to ride Spaceship Earth. So we did Nemo first, Living with the Land, because the wait times were shorter. I think we ended up getting to the park like at 9:12, which is 12 minutes after it actually opens for the normal people. If you stay on property, it's at 8:30 it opens.
Oh, side note, I was going to say, from the Caribbean Beach, when you get on to the Epcot Skyliner side, it's about 20 minutes to get there if there's no stops, or like stopping of the Skyliner. But anyway, sorry.
And then we rode Spaceship Earth. I sat with him that time. And if you're not familiar with the ride, it basically takes you through since the dawn of time to the current. And it's like the progression of technology, human history, technology. And it's not a super like thrilling, exciting children's ride. If you're an adult, I think you'll love it. I certainly think it's fascinating. I feel like they updated the animatronics too, because they looked really good.
See, last time I remember them, I was like, man, this is a joke. This, like the ride.
They looked a little bit more like plasticky last time.
Yeah, and they didn't move as well. This time they like, all the characters that like had like a lot of movement moved really smooth. Very
fluid. They all looked really great. But anyway, I'm sitting with Grayson, and he's the type of kid where sometimes he just kind of sits and takes it all in. You can't really tell what he's thinking, and then after the fact he's like real excited and he talks about it. So that's kind of what happened with Spaceship Earth. On the ride, he wasn't showing a lot of,
he's taking it all in.
Yeah, he wasn't showing a lot of expression, and I'm thinking to myself, like, if I was a 3-year-old, like, this would not be the most exciting thing for me, just because it's not like bright and colorful and animated.
Yeah,
but he loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. And then at the end, when we got off, there is a little racing game that he got to play. So that was really fun.
Yeah. So after we rode the big ball, we headed over back to the World Showcase. We went towards like around to the left of the big ball, kind of where the Moana area is, or where it's going to be, kind of where I think it was the Connection gift shop and the Connection Cafe. We went that way to go back to the World Showcase. And we went to the Mexico Pavilion and we rode the 3 Caballeros, which was a long wait too.
Well, so I don't know how much the Genie app like affected all of this, but I noticed a lot of different times on our trip. I would check the Disney World app. The wait time on a ride would be really low. And then we would rush over to get there and it would jump up by like 20 minutes because everyone was either getting a notification or checking the app at the same time. But the 3 Caballeros, I think it was up to like a 25-minute wait. The line was crazy. It didn't take us very long. I think it maybe took us less than 10 minutes to get on the ride.
Yeah. It was just like, crap, like this ride is normally like 5 minutes to get on.
But the Mexico Pavilion was super fun. We didn't go back to shop in it. But Grayson was obsessed with like all of the
little
skulls. Yeah. But the 3 Caballeros ride, loved it. Everything was so much better with Grayson. Like I just enjoyed everything so much more with him. Like the 3 Caballeros I've ridden several times in the past and I have always thought it was an okay ride, but definitely not something that I'm like looking forward to. But this time around, I actually had a blast on it.
Yeah, so did I.
Super fun.
So after that, we went to Norway.
Got some snacks.
We got the Lefsey, and what was Grayson's little chocolate covered thing?
A Kringle.
Kringle, yeah, and then we got the rice cream.
The rice cream, guys. If you go to Epcot. Go to Norway, get the rice cream. It's $3.99. I could eat it every day.
Yeah, we've already got the DFB guide, like
we looked
knockoff version.
We looked up a recipe because we will be making it. We ended up getting it 3 times.
Pretty much every time we went to Epcot, we got it.
Yeah,
delish. That and the leftsies.
Yeah,
because those were good too. It's like a crepe with brown sugar and butter.
Which doesn't sound that great, but it was delish.
Yeah. Grayson loved that. And the Kringle was just like a lot of chocolate and bread.
Anyway, it's the same bakery that has the school bread, which ironically we didn't get. School bread is like one of the most popular things there. But the people in the bakery are so nice.
Yeah, the girls.
So friendly. Like even when the lines were really long in there, they're just super friendly.
Yeah. Like
very magical.
Like we said, we went back every time to Norway to get snacks. And every time they were super sweet. And the one girl, because you went in both the times before and then I went in the last time, or the last like 2 times. And I walked in and I was like, yeah, we need 2 of the rice creams, 2 of the leftsies. And we're like checking out. And I was like, how do you say your name? Because it was like spelled really weird. And she's like, Sylvie. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, that's awesome. Because I thought of Loki.
Yeah.
See, because her name's Sylvie in Loki. And I was like, oh. And it was just spelled really interesting. But they were so freaking nice.
Yeah.
So like personable. And we went back at a later time during the trip. And I was wearing my Norway shirt, which I have lost. And they were like, oh, we love your shirt. And I was like, oh, thank you. And they're like, did you get it in the shop? I was like, yeah, I did. And they were like, is Norway your favorite pavilion? I was like, oh yeah, I love like Norse mythology and Norway and everything. I was like, I really want to go there. And then they realized like I really like Norway. And so like all of them came over and started talking to me because it wasn't super busy in there. So they were telling me like when I needed to go and like what I should do when we travel. And it was like, oh, this is so cool. They got very excited when I was like, oh yeah, I love Norway. And they're like, I want to go there. And I was like, yeah, I do. And they're like, oh, well, you got to do this. Go during May 17th because that's Norway's independence. It's the best time to go. And I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Very Disney magic
Yeah.
right there.
But anyway, back to like the day we were at Epcot. After we ate the snacks, I don't really remember what we did after that.
I don't either. I feel like it was probably getting
I
close
think we
to
walked-
midday.
Yeah, I think we walked to the Japan pavilion, and we got the snacks the first time. The rice cakes, or rice squishy cakes, whatever they're called, and the chips. And then I think after that, we ended up going back to the hotel.
Yeah,
Take a
so
rest.
the way we wanted to plan our days was we knew we had to take a midday break to take naps
Mm-hmm.
and clean up because it was hot.
Yeah.
So that was definitely something that we had to think about every day, how we wanted to plan the day, because Grayson was definitely starting to get
Fussy. Yeah. It was definitely nap time. I think we ended up leaving at like 12
I don't remember.
back to the resort. And then or maybe it was a little bit after that, but we kind of took our time from Japan back to the Skyliner after that. Because I'm looking at the pictures here, and that's definitely what we did. When we went back to resort, I'm pretty sure we swam for about an hour or so, and then we went back up, took a nap, and then we ended up going back. We were trying to find, because Epcot was stupid busy, and we figured out why. Because Figment was being introduced as a character that you can take a picture with.
Yeah.
And we did not know that. So that park was stupidly busy. I guess there was like a 5.5 hour wait to meet Figment.
Yeah, for point of reference, we were talking about the 3 Caballeros a minute ago. It's inside the Mexico Pavilion. The line to get on the ride was to the entrance of the Mexico Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And that does not ever happen.
Yeah.
So, just
and I
a
think
little
they were a
point of
little
reference.
taken back because they were filtering people through like the line and like out of the pavilion. And it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. But like we said earlier, it moved fast.
Mm-hmm.
So then we swam, took a nap, and then
We're looking up times of where to go next.
yeah, because we did do the park hopper option, which I would highly recommend. You pay an additional fee. So after 2 p.m., you can go to a different park.
Yeah.
And you can go to as many parks as you want as long as it's after 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So
hopefully next year they change it to where it's like after 12 p.m. or after your first scan and you can hop to a different park.
Yeah. So what we pretty much did every day was at that break time, we checked the wait times on the rides and tried to select a park that seemed a little bit less busy than everything else. And just because how busy Epcot was that first time, we decided not to go back that night.
Mm-hmm. So we ended up going to Hollywood Studios, which is like we're hitting my 2 favorite parks day one, and I'm like, let's freaking go.
Yeah, it really worked out.
So we got to Hollywood Studios. Obviously, we took the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios, and the first ride that we rode was Toy Story Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is it?
Midway Mania.
Midway Mania.
Yeah. We definitely got to experience learning patience.
Yep.
As far as Grayson is concerned, because we had to wait in several lines. And I think the wait time at that time was like 35 minutes.
Yep.
Definitely felt like 35 minutes.
Yep.
Because Grayson was fussy.
Yeah. And it was a combination. We woke him up from the nap.
Mm-hmm.
He was hungry. At this point, he hasn't pooped yet on the trip, which is like a big deal, which you don't think is like, oh, he hasn't pooped yet. But after he poops, he was like a totally different child.
I don't know if all kids are this way, but our kid is definitely affected. Very affected by a lot of different things. So if he's hungry, like all people, if you're hungry, you're going to be kind of irritable.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am. So he gets that way. But he also gets that way when he hasn't pooped.
Yeah.
And he's not like he's not like an adult where it's like, oh, I need to poop, I'm going to go poop.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to poop. I'm not going to poop.
Yeah.
My parents are going to have to fight me to go poop.
Yeah. I'm not doing it.
So he had a hard time the first couple days with that, but it wasn't a problem at the end of the trip.
Yeah. And it was also like a plan that we told him. Like when we were riding Skyliners back, we're like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go play in the pool for a little bit. And then we're going to go inside and go to the bathroom and go potty. And you can play in the bed and take a nap. And that was kind of like the routine that we got into. Like, we'll play in the pool for a little bit, go to the bathroom, play in the bed, fall asleep, wake up, and then we go to the next part.
Yeah. So anyway, Toy Story Midway Mania. Once we got through the line, we loved it. So technically it's a 2-seater ride, but they let Grayson sit on my lap.
Yeah.
And
he's so little.
God, we had a blast.
Yeah.
We had a blast on that ride. It's so fun.
Yeah.
He loves to get to wear the 3D glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And just the whole theme of the ride is super fun.
Yeah. It was such a good time. God, so much fun. So that was the Toy Story Mania. Once we left that, we kind of just walked around the Toy Story area, which we didn't ride Slinky Dog Dash again.
Yeah.
So the wait times on that is just way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So long.
And that's definitely one that I want to ride next time, because I've never got to ride it, even though it's been open for several years now. It looks really fun, but with Grayson, we still feel like he's a little bit too small to ride roller coasters.
Yeah.
Just based on how he's reacted when we've
rides.
put him on different rides.
Yeah.
We put him on a roller coaster here locally, and it was not a good time. He cried the whole time. And I think it kind of scarred him for life.
Yeah, and
on
it was
the
a
roller
kid coaster too,
Yeah.
so it wasn't even like anything super crazy.
But the thing with the one we put him on, it was so like rough.
Yeah, I know, but
and small, and it kind of ruined the whole mood of the coasters for him. Because Slinky Dog is very smooth, and I think Disney rides are just in general like better.
Well, yeah.
But
the ride technology for their coasters is a lot smoother.
So we didn't get to ride that, but we love Toy Story Land. Just walking around, getting to see Buzz.
We got to see. We saw Buzz. We saw Woody and Jesse at one point. And last time we went to Disney World, just Ashley and I, we didn't explore Toy Story Land at all. We went to Midway Mania and then we left, because you couldn't go behind Toy Story Mania or behind the Toy Story Land because they were still working on Galaxy's Edge, because Galaxy's Edge wasn't open yet.
Yeah.
Now it's open, so we went from Toy Story Mania straight to Galaxy's Edge. And boy,
oh man, we had such a blast.
So we legit walk over into that area, and like the music, and it starts doing all the ambient, like ships flying over, and it's just like, holy crap. Like you literally feel like you are on Batuu.
Yes. And for point of reference for you guys, we're not like humongous Star Wars fans, but we're pretty big fans. Grayson has been on a Star Wars kick for a little while. He's been obsessed with droids. He's watched 4, 5, and 6. And some of the kid Star Wars shows, the Young Jedi show. And he loves the music. Like he sings and hums the music all the time. And so he knew what it was.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. So he'll hum the Vader bum 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 bum. He'll do that all the time, and then he'll do the Star Wars like main theme, which he was ironically doing at the park this morning when we were pushing him on the swing.
Yeah.
So like the first thing we did when we walked in there, we tried to let him go to the bathroom because we're like, we need to go potty, and he was, not having it. So we were like, okay, whatever. So we walk over to this area, and there's 2 stormtroopers walking around, which I was like, yes, like perfect. Like as soon as we get over here, and they walk up to Grayson.
Well, you gotta give him backstory.
Oh, what?
We bought the helmet.
Not yet. We saw them first.
Oh, okay.
And then they walked around and they came back. Remember?
No.
Oh. Well, we saw them first, and I was like, Grayson, look, stormtroopers. And they, like, pointed at him, and he was, like, looking up, and they're like, keep moving. And they're whatever they say, and they're like, keep an eye on this one. So we keep walking through, and we go to the, like, we're obviously on the Toy Story side, so we're, like, on the far right-hand side if you're looking at the park from the front. And there's, like, an Empire outlet or whatever it's called over there, kind of by the Empire's ship. And he sees a stormtrooper helmet, and that's what we ended up buying him. Mm-hmm. So we're literally putting the stormtrooper helmet back on, and they, like, point to him, and they start walking back over, and they're like, thank you for joining the cause. And
oh my God, it was so cool. Awesome.
I don't know did we get that on video?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't have it on my camera roll at all. Mm-hmm. But
well, I wasn't expecting it. I don't think I got it on my camera. I think I got a short video on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Because we were literally putting the helmet on. Josh has, like, thick fingers, so he couldn't get the snaps.
Yeah.
So then I had to help.
Yeah.
And I was, like, trying to rush and get the helmet on by the time they came over.
Yeah. So they did come over, mm-hmm. and they were talking to him, and he ended up taking a picture with them.
Yeah, and we had a crowd around us.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
And everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute with his little helmet. And like other people were talking about it. And like they like got down and like shook his hand, and it was just really fun.
God, it was
so like good. So immersive.
Core memory for him, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we'll post some of these pictures like on our Instagram.
Yeah, we have to really sift through all of the videos and pictures.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be able to do that on the drive back, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted a little bit, but
yeah,
we've still got a lot to go through.
Yeah, it was so much fun though. God. So we did that, and then we kind of walked around.
Well, I got the blue milk.
Oh, that's
because
right.
I wanted to. I don't know.
We just wanted to try
I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And at this time, like, I had to look at the map to see where everything was, and the blue milk stand was right across from where we were standing.
Yeah.
So I got the blue milk. I loved it. Josh, you thought it was kind of weird.
I thought it was so. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was like the worst thing I've ever or the best thing I've ever had.
It was totally different than what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. It was like kind of a slushy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting a slushy.
Yeah.
It was also $9 for like
a tiny
an
cup.
8-ounce cup.
Yeah.
Which is freaking absurd.
Yeah. So we won't.
She told me the price, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, we won't be getting the blue milk next time we go back for sure.
But it was delicious. I would recommend you gotta at least try it. It's just very expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, everything at Disney is expensive, but I thought for how much you got was kind of absurd.
But it's thick.
Yeah.
Too though. So it's like it's not like 8 ounces of like blue colored milk.
Yeah.
Which was what I was expecting.
That's what I was expecting, kind of. Like, I wasn't expecting milk, but like something like similar consistency.
But at least it was like a dense milk or whatever you want to call it. So either way, it was okay. Ashley loved it. I think Grayson like was so immersed with everything else, he didn't care. He drank it, but he could care less at this point.
Yeah.
And at this point too, he was getting very, very fussy because he had to go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And this is when the chaos of that started to happen.
Yes.
We had an incident in our pants, and we had to go change him in the bathroom. And then we had another incident.
Yeah, for the next several hours, we had some issues with potty.
Just upset stomach.
Yeah. We don't need to go too much into detail. It was a rough few hours.
Yeah, but we'll do the highlights of that.
Yeah.
So after we did the bathroom situation the first time, we're walking around, and we finally come up on the Millennium Falcon, and Grayson knows what the ship looks like, and he goes, "Oh, it's the Falcon ship," and just starts like freaking out.
Yeah. And
I mean, I'm freaking out too, because I'm like, holy shit, it's a Millennium Falcon. And it's so cool, and like it's so realistic looking.
God, yes. And this is the part where I wish they didn't do a ride. I wish we could just have gone up in it.
Yeah, I don't know if the ship itself is a ride or if
The ride is not in that ship,
yeah,
but instead of doing a ride, I wish they just did
where you can walk
a
up into
giant,
the ship.
like a real true to scale Millennium Falcon. You could walk up in it.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
And I would like it a lot more.
They should have done that.
They should have. Yeah.
Even if you had to do a wait time on that, I would have waited for that.
Yeah. We didn't even ride the Millennium Falcon ride because neither one of us really cared about it.
We were more concerned about Rise of the Resistance, which is what we'll talk about next because that's the direction we were heading. God, and also, side note, we went, at this time, it was already like evening turning into night. Mm-hmm. So it was like awesome to see the Star Wars like land at night. So completely immersed at this point. We finally get Grayson's tummy issues like kind of to the side and he's feeling better.
Side note, highly recommend to pack a lot of different varieties of medicine with you. So like we had for us, we had like Gas X and Pepto. We had Pepto for him. We had ibuprofen. Just because like when you're doing something like this, you don't want anything like a tummy ache to ruin your experience. So we gave him some Pepto. That helped a little bit.
Yeah, it helped make his tummy not so upset.
Yeah. So highly recommend packing that kind of thing with you.
Yeah, which we'll have a video later talking about like what we packed every day. Mm-hmm. And like what to pack. I think that would be a good thing, especially with a kid.
Yeah.
So we get everything figured out, and Rise of the Resistance is only like a 25-minute wait.
Yeah.
So we sprint over there, and we are like in line, and the Rise of the Resistance queue is just freaking awesome.
It's beautiful.
And the ride, well, leading up to the ride. So it's like once you get into this like one part where they start to like actually you see cast members like queuing you like, hey, we got to go in here. Mm-hmm. You walk into like the BB-8 area, and that's like kind of when your ride officially starts because you get more of like the like, hey, resistance fighters, like we got to do this kind of thing.
So one thing I will say with all of the newer Disney rides, I think what they're trying to do is it's still part of your wait time, but I think to create the illusion that you're on the ride sooner, they do like these rooms where like the characters are talking to you, because Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind was the same, where you're just dumped into a room with like a character talking to you, and then you move to another room where you're dumped in all together and there's like a little bit of an experience, and then you get to move on to the ride part. And I think they obviously do that so that it creates the illusion that you're not having to wait so long. Yeah,
it definitely works. Because you're just like, obviously, there's a droid, BB-8, is in there like rolling around, and Grayson's like, like, BB-8.
Oh my God, BB-8. It's so cute.
So he's excited to see that, and like we're excited to see that. And then there's like a hologram of Rey that pops up, which I'm not like the biggest Rey fan, but like seeing her pop up, I got really excited.
I did too.
And I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then we saw Poe Dameron pop up on the screen because they're telling you like, hey, we're getting ready to go fight these, not New Empire, whatever they are in the new movies, but First Order. And so you get like this whole experience. You get on, I don't even remember. I guess your ship.
Well, you get in
track. You get in the ship, and it's like moving you to the area where you actually start to get onto the ride. And
then there's another little triangle room.
Yeah. And
then the resistance like breaks you out of that room.
Yep. And you get
and that's where the ride starts.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but you do see, you get like tractor beamed into the Empire ship. Right. And then you walk in, and that's where all the stormtroopers are standing. And you see like the big TIE fighter. And then you kind of like walk down a hallway, and that's when you get all like the Empire people like, go stand over there. Like, we need to check his measurement to see if he's tall enough for interrogation, because they checked Grayson's heights multiple times.
Yeah, you have to be 42 inches to ride.
Yeah.
He was like 43.
Yeah. So he goes.
We weren't sure at this point in time how it was going to go. Yeah. I didn't know that there was a drop on the ride until there was a drop on the ride. So I don't know. If you've got small kids, there's a drop on the ride.
Yeah, at the very end of the ride. It's like when you're escaping the ship. But he did fine.
Till the end, yeah.
He did fine. Even after, I mean, he cried like for like a minute and then he was like totally fine. Mm-hmm. But Ashley, I think you like scare him when you're like, there's a drop coming. It's not scary. I think you just have to let him experience a drop and because he won't even realize it.
Okay, let's talk about the ride and then we can get to the drop.
Okay.
Because I actually do think that helps him though.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
Okay.
Because he likes to know what is happening.
I guess. What
made him cry was at the end, you kept talking to him. And you're like, oh, you did so great. You did amazing. And then he started crying. If we just left him alone, I don't think he would have cried.
I think he would have cried regardless because he got scared. And his tummy was not feeling the best either. But anyway, the ride is freaking awesome.
God, we had such a good time.
he loved the ride.
Until the end, yeah.
Yeah. He loved, like, when we saw Kylo Ren, like, he was like, it's the bad guy. And, like, saw the lightsaber, like, cut through the ceiling. And he obviously loved, like, there's a droid in front of you, like, moving around. Mm-hmm. And he kept saying, like, look at the robot. Look at the robot. He's moving. And it was just a blast.
Oh, my God. Amazing. Amazing ride.
Yeah, like.
So much fun.
Cosmic Rewind is definitely my favorite ride, but, like, this ride holds a very close, like, second.
Yeah. It was, I mean, it's crazy good.
Yeah, and I think it's because it immerses you so much.
Oh, my God. The AT-ATs.
Yeah.
We actually got to experience it 2 different times. And the first time we didn't go in as far. The second time we went all the way underneath them. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. It's just crazy cool.
Yeah.
Crazy cool.
Yeah. Which was cool, too, because we got to see 2 different versions of like one time you go to the left, one time you go to the right. Yeah. And that's like what happened to us.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. And yeah, the ride, God, it was so, everything like down to the smallest details is just Star Wars, everything. It's so freaking cool.
I could ride that all day.
Oh,
over and over again.
I could too. Yeah.
I could just stay on it and ride it in a loop.
Yeah.
For like the entire day. I don't think I'd ever get tired of it.
Yeah.
Just so much fun.
It's so fun.
There's so many different things to look at too.
Oh yeah, you can't look at everything in like one ride sitting. Like even the second ride sitting, I noticed like a ton of different things. Like where different stormtroopers were standing and like just like riding on the wall and like stuff that's falling off of the wall when like one of the AT-ATs shoots. Like, you see stuff, like, start to fall off a wall. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, my gosh. Like, I didn't even notice that last time.
Yeah, there's a lot I'm sure I missed.
So, we got off that ride. And at that point, it was like, okay, we need to get back to the resort. I think it was getting pretty close to, like, closing ceremony.
Yeah.
Or I think, actually, they were playing the closing ceremony when we were walking out of that ride. Which I think is why we got on the ride, too. Like in a decent time because they were doing the closing stuff.
Yeah.
So we got off, went back to the resort. I don't even remember what we did once we got back to the resort. I think we got a snack or something and we went up and just like passed out, showered off, passed out. Mm-hmm. Next day, we went to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom Mondays.
Yep. I didn't know this at the time, but apparently Magic Kingdom is supposedly like always busy on Mondays.
Yeah.
And so we went on Monday and it was very busy, but it was still a wonderful, wonderful experience.
We got to take the bus.
Yes, we took the bus,
which was fun.
I got to capture the moment on video where Grayson first saw the castle.
Yes.
And let me tell you, magic.
Yeah, that was.
Magic.
I think that's my favorite video that we got of him.
Oh my God, he physically was just like giddy.
Yeah.
Once
look over there, and he's like clapping his little hands.
You got him out of the little stroller, and he was like, his arms were shaking, and he was jumping around when he got out. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was so amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So
we got breakfast at Starbucks.
Well, what happened was we got there very early because it says 8:30, and I don't know what
we got there at 8.
We got there at 8.
We got tagged or scanned in. We're in the park. We're walking down Main Street. We walk over towards the left because we're going to go to the Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that's
we were going to go to the Peter Pan ride.
Oh,
because it's
that's right.
Always, I thought Grayson would love it, and it's always very, very busy.
Yeah.
So we were gonna rope drop that, and then they didn't open till 8:30.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we're hungry. I get very irritable in the mornings in general, but if I don't have food, I'm like very grumpy.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to eat something. So we went to Starbucks. They are very efficient there.
Yep.
Got us some Starbucks. By the time we got out of Starbucks, the wait time for Peter Pan was 45 minutes. And we're like, oh, that ain't happening right now. So
we went.
I feel like it all worked out totally fine because we got to go to ride Buzz Lightyear.
Yep. Space Ranger spin.
Grayson loves Buzz Lightyear. If you guys know anything about us at all, he's loved Buzz Lightyear for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And we don't watch the movies really anymore, but he loves Buzz.
But I think we should start watching them again because we're so high on Disney right now. We're just like pumping in the Disney.
I want to watch Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah. I've heard so many good things.
I know.
But we haven't watched any of that because leading for the trip, like we were working so much and like just passed out at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like not even worth it to watch anything. We just walked.
Yeah, I couldn't have put in I couldn't have paid attention because I was working.
Yeah, so we've been rewatching like Friends and The Office just to like have something on in the background.
Yeah. So anyway, we ride Buzz Lightyear. Grayson loved it.
Yep.
Loved it. We actually only rode that ride one time.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wish we did differently is go to Magic Kingdom again because we just went the one time. But we rode Buzz Lightyear. Loved it. And then we went to the People Mover, which was so much fun. We rode that twice. We just stayed on.
Yeah. We're like, can we just stay on and ride again? Because Grayson loved it so much.
And I'm so proud of him that he loved it because it's so fun.
Yeah.
And we got to go through Space Mountain with the lights on.
Yeah.
The ride was cool. Down. Yeah. And it took me a second to realize what was going on. I'm like, are the lights on right now? Because you can see the ceiling. Yeah. And then there's a little section
where it's all like glass.
Where it's like, yeah, glass panels or plastic panels. And you could see the whole ride. And I was like, this is awesome. Because it's like,
you never
I
get
love
to see
Space Mountain. So to get to see it with the lights on, I was like, this is the coolest thing. And we rode it twice. And we got it. The lights were on the whole time.
Yeah. Side note, whenever we left Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, it takes you through the gift shop on your exit, which is like a blessing and a curse because every kid is like, I want to buy a toy. So
every person is like, I want to buy something.
Well, yeah. So we went and we ended up buying
a little Zerg ball shooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was $10, so we were pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
He didn't pick the $40 toy. He picked the $10 one, so we were pretty proud.
Yeah, he was so excited for it, too. And I was like, well, we can get those balls anywhere.
Yep, and then he kept shooting him all over the place.
Yep. So we put the balls up, and we gave him one ball, and they said, keep it in there. If you lose it, we lose it. And he got upset because he didn't want to lose it. So he was very careful with the ball the rest of the day. And we went into this one gift shop. And we didn't get anything. It's like right over there by the Buzz Lightyear.
Well, because we had to take a bathroom break.
Yeah. So it's like right next to that. And then we got on the People Mover, rode it twice, had a great time on that. And then after that, I don't even remember what we did.
Was that when we went to Little Mermaid?
No, we went and got a Dole Whip.
Ooh, and then we went to...
No, we went to Pirates first.
Pirates first.
We went to Pirates of the Caribbean after we rolled the People Mover.
And
we rode that. And then...
Grayson... Okay, so I apparently am just a wimp. Like, the dark rides kind of scare me. And so if I was a kid, Pirates would totally freak me out.
No, he loved it.
With all of the animatronics, it would freak me out. It still freaks me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He loved it.
He loves water rides, though.
He loved it.
Yeah.
And he actually wanted to ride it again, but we didn't.
Yeah, the waits.
We just didn't have enough time at Magic Kingdom. But he loved Pirates. And then we got a Dole Whip.
Yep. So we ate the Dole Whip, and
then he went in the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse with you, and I sat there.
Yeah, you were just kind of just hanging out.
Guys, it was hot.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, it was very hot.
Very hot.
So him and I went up the treehouse, and we went down the treehouse, and then we went back up the treehouse again, and back down the treehouse again. Yeah. He was very excited to do that. So that's what we did. And then we walked back over to Ashley, and she's like, hey, so the Beauty and the Beast restaurant is going to be $200 probably after tip. And then I had a panic.
Oh, yeah. Josh totally freaked out. For some reason, so like any of the table service restaurants, you have to have a reservation to eat there. You can't just walk up to a restaurant that's a table service and get in.
Yeah.
So Megan, our travel agent, booked all of our dining reservations for us, and she did a fabulous job. One of the ones we wanted to do was be our guest because of the experience. Mm-hmm. And so while the boys were up in the treehouse, I looked at the menu. And previously, when you and I went, we went for breakfast. It was delicious, and it was not that expensive. Mm. And so I didn't realize it was a prefix menu, which means it's one price per adults, one price per kids. You get an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert, and it's the one price. It was going to be $200 after our tip. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. But I wanted to tell Josh because I didn't want him to be surprised when the bill came. And so I told you, you totally freaked out. And then we were like, you tried to call and cancel our reservation. Well, it was too late to cancel without a fee. So it was going to be like a $30 fee to cancel. Which
in all reality, a $30 fee is better than a $200 bill. Because we would have still had $170
We can't
left.
change it.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. Because you were so like.
I wanted to go.
I know, but you were so in your head. I'm like, we cannot like afford that.
Well, we did.
Well, we did. And then we were like, oh, well, Ashley gets paid Friday or Thursday. So let's just hope we have enough money to get
it was very expensive. Like Disney is expensive. The table services are expensive, but I was not prepared for that $200 meal.
Yeah. So note to self, we will not be doing Be Our Guest unless they bring back a breakfast and it's not like a 3-course meal.
I don't like the prefix meals.
No.
Which I don't.
Also, we got screwed one time when we went to a Valentine's dinner where it was the same thing. It was a prefix meal and it was $160 for both of us. Yeah. And I was like, nope, never doing this again.
Yeah. Anyway, so we went to Be Our Guest. It was beautiful. Let's keep it positive. It was expensive, but so we got an appetizer. Our waitress kind of sucked, but I got the French what is it?
French dip.
No.
French onion soup.
French onion soup. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. It was really good. Mm-hmm. And then you got
some duck something.
Oh appetizer. Yeah, yours was weird.
Well, I was like, well, if I'm spending $200, I'm gonna get something that I don't normally eat. Yeah.
And then Grayson, I ordered the fruit and cheese plate for him, and she just gave him like a cup of fruit.
There was no cheese.
And she was kind of rude. And that's one thing I will say for our Disney trip. This isn't positive, but I do feel like a lot of the cast members have lost the magic. Some of them still have it, but it's not the same as what it used to be.
The girls in Norway have it.
Yeah, the girls in Norway are rocking. They got it. But not everyone does. And our waitress at Be Our Guest did not have it.
Our waitress at Skipper Canteen had it, though.
Yeah, she was wonderful. Anyway, so then I got the filet mignon, and so did you. Yep. And then Grayson got mac and cheese. and it came with sweet potatoes and green beans.
Yeah, and this is like $39 Kraft mac and cheese.
It wasn't Kraft mac and cheese.
It's pretty much like that.
But $39 for mac and cheese is freaking crazy. And the green beans like were hardly cooked, so they were like super crunchy. He didn't eat any of them. Yeah.
And he had one sweet potato piece.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, I'm done." And I was like, "Well, this sucks."
Yep. And then the dessert was good.
Yeah, the dessert was okay. The little
the macaroon.
I'm sorry. I have nothing good to say about Be Our Guest because it was just like, other than watching Grayson be excited to see the Beast, the food was just very
I feel
meh.
like the dessert was good.
It was not.
For the kids' dessert, they bring out a tray, and
that was cool for him.
So
yes.
they made chip out of white chocolate. They obviously have like just a little mold.
Mm-hmm.
They made chip out of white chocolate, and they did red, yellow, and then blue like liquid icing, and they give you a little paintbrush, and you could paint the chip and then eat them.
Yep.
So that was very cute. Anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it. It also made me sick.
Yeah.
Like physically sick for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that
kind of ruined like the rest of the day a little bit. Grace ended up falling asleep in his stroller at some point. After we left that, he fell asleep because I'm looking at the picture right here.
Did we go to
we went to the
Little
Winnie
Mermaid?
No, we went to that was before we went to Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, right.
Because it's right over there by it.
Yeah, we went to Little Mermaid first. That was a good ride. That was a hit.
Yeah, it was a good ride, but I was so anxious about spending $200 at the restaurant, I didn't have fun.
Yeah.
And then after we ate at the restaurant and we laid down $200 in cash and walked away, we went to the Winnie the Pooh area, or the Winnie the Pooh ride. Mm-hmm. That ride.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think about the timeline because I don't really remember.
Well, I'm looking at the picture so I can tell you.
Okay, yeah.
So we went to the Winnie the Pooh ride. We rode that.
Wait, didn't we ride It's a Small World first?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
We rode Winnie the Pooh. We didn't ride Small World until after that.
Okay. So Winnie the Pooh was absolute crap. Hated it. I hated it.
I didn't mind it. I mean,
Grayson loved it. I'm like, we're on this ride, and I'm like, it looks super cute, and it had so much potential to be super fun, super light. But Disney's been doing this thing with some of these rides where they just paint something neon and do black light. And they did that for like half the ride, and I'm like, I don't like it. There was like 4 different rides that we rode that had a section that was like neon colors and a black light. And I'm like, do something else.
Yeah.
And it was such a short little ride.
But kids love it, so that doesn't matter.
Grayson loved it, but I'm like, well, in my head, I'm like, this could be such a cool ride. Because it had so much potential. But it just was crap. There was only a couple rides where I didn't like them.
The queue line was fun.
The queue line was good. Okay, so what was next?
So he fell asleep. Okay, so we rode Small World. And then he fell asleep.
Okay, so I actually loved Small World this time.
Yeah, I did too.
You guys, just for the record, leading up to our trip, Josh was like, we're not riding that.
Yeah.
We're not riding It's a Small World.
Because I hate that ride.
Yep. You said you hate it, and we're not riding it. Well, we rode it, and I loved
liked
it. Yeah.
I think a lot of it too was because of Grayson. I enjoyed it more because he liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Because we got off that ride and we're like, did you like that? He's like, that ride was awesome.
It was so fun.
So he really liked it. And then he was on the drive back, he was singing It's a Small World.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
He's very musical.
Yeah. So then after that, he fell asleep in the stroller because I'm looking at the picture here.
Okay.
We walked back to the resort, or walked back to the bus, and then got back to the resort. Took our nap, and then we came back and we went to Skipper Canteen because we were worried we weren't going to make it back to Skipper Canteen because we stayed at Magic Kingdom so long. the nap was like really late nap. And it was only about an hour. So we went back and swam. Like we did our normal thing. We swam, went inside, went to the bathroom, played with our toys for a little bit, and then passed back out. Also, he had got a Buzz Lightyear bubble blower.
That was coming back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because we got it because he threw a fit because he wanted that.
Yeah, because I lost you guys when we were exiting Magic Kingdom. We got separated.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because of the parade.
Yeah, there was a parade. We got separated. You guys ended up. Oh, because we were the gift shops on Main Street. Go through the entire
Main Street.
You can walk from one end to the next.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just follow me. We're going to go through the gift shops. Well, I ended up exiting halfway through, and you guys went all the way through, and then I lost you. And along the way, Grayson saw the Buzz Lightyear bubble wand.
Yeah.
And he freaked out about it. So anyway, when we came back to Magic Kingdom after our break, we had the reservations for Skipper Canteen. We had just enough time for you to run ahead, buy the wand, and surprise him with it.
Yeah, which he was very surprised.
Yes, it was very cute. And then we went to Skipper Canteen, which I liked. I liked the atmosphere.
The atmosphere was fun. The food was very meh.
The atmosphere was very like, okay, well, it's themed to the Jungle Cruise because it's Skipper Canteen. Yeah, obviously. And it very much felt like the movie to me, and I loved that. It was very like relaxed, and it was just beautiful in there. So I love that. The food was good. They didn't have a lot of options, but I will say I liked that it was not a prefix. So you get to select different options and they're different prices based on what you get. So that's good. Yeah. And then what did we do after Skipper Canteen?
After Skipper Canteen, we went to Haunted Mansion.
Yep. Huge mistake.
Was it?
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily a mistake.
Yeah, because he closed his eyes the whole time.
He was terrified.
We thought he would like it because he liked pirates.
Well, it had been, yes. So it had been years since we rode Haunted Mansion. And from what I remembered, like, I'm scared of dark rides. But we thought it was more of like silly and not scary. And because he liked pirates, we're like, he's going to like this. Yep. And there were so many little kids in line. And we're like, this is going to be great.
Wrong.
Immediately terrified. He covered his eyes the whole time.
Yep.
And I was kind of scared too. But I will say, it's an amazing, immaculate ride. Like, the detail is crazy. Like, if you are just going for how much they invest into these rides, you have to ride Haunted Mansion because it is stunning.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in
that ride.
I
was terrified, especially towards the end, like in the graveyard scene. Scary, very scary. I'm glad he had his eyes closed. The ride is beautiful, but it's a little scary, especially for kids.
So we're still like PTSD from the $200 trip to the thing. And we're still like very like, oh my gosh, about the whole, just like spending so much money between that and Skipper Canteen. It was like crazy. So after Haunted Mansion, we were like, okay, let's just like relax. We went over because Grayson said he was hungry, and we got him a Mickey Mouse pretzel, which he loved. And that's what I'm looking at right now is him eating on this Mickey Mouse pretzel. And then after that, we kind of headed out of the park.
Yeah, that's, like I said, if we could change really anything, we needed another half day at least at Magic Kingdom. We didn't get to ride Peter Pan, which I know he would have loved, but the wait times were just crazy. Yeah. On that.
We didn't ride Jungle Cruise.
We didn't ride Jungle Cruise, which I know they had done some updates to it, so I kind of wish we got to ride that. Overall, I would say it was a really positive experience. like with the things we did get to do,
Mm-hmm.
we just missed out on a couple things because we didn't have enough time.
Yeah. And we did get some really cool pictures. I got some really cool pictures, at least, of the castle at Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we'll try to post stuff later. But we did get a picture of Grayson on the way back from Magic Kingdom because we got him we were on the way out, and I ended up buying him a Stitch stuffy,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess, the little stuffed animal. And he absolutely loves Stitch right now. So he saw that, and I picked it up. And Ashley had gone ahead of us again a little bit because she was looking at something else. And we walked up, and we're like, look what we got. And she's like, did you buy a Stitch stuffy? And we're like, yep. So he was very excited. Oh, we were talking to the police officers. It was right before they were prepping for the nighttime show.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the police.
Yeah.
And he wanted to talk to them. And they gave him a sticker and a bunch of other things, a few stickers, and just like, we're like, now you're one of us.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. But we got this really sweet picture of him on the bus with his Buzz bubble blower and the Stitch in hand, and it was just like, Ashley looked at me and she's like, look at this, like, this is a moment that, like, he's just for like us as parents, like, wow, he's got 2 toys. We had like an awesome day at Magic Kingdom. Like, he was in a good mood.
He was, to paint the picture, if you haven't seen Josh's post, like we said, we'll try our best to post some pictures on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Grayson was sitting in a corner seat on the bus by the window.
Yeah.
Looking out the window, playing with his new toys. And it just was just such a pure, magical, amazing moment, because I don't know, like, being a parent is really hard, and most of the time you feel like you're a piece of crap. And in that moment, he was just so content, and he just looked so freaking cute.
And happy.
And we're just staring at him like, oh my God, like, this is just amazing. And we felt really proud that we were able to give him this experience.
Yeah.
And it was just a really good moment.
Yeah. It was awesome. So then we ended up making it back to the hotel. And I think at this time I had bought a souvenir cup. I believe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. No, actually, I don't think I did yet. I think it was the next day. Because the next day we went back to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
We rope dropped Hollywood Studios.
I feel like we need to take a break and do like a part 2.
Yeah, because we're an hour and 22 minutes in.
It seems like it's pretty long.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and do a part 2 to this because there's so much still to say.
Yeah. We're only on we're about to start day 3.
Well, we're going to start day 3, which was Hollywood Studios. We have so much more to talk about. So stay tuned. We'll post part 2 basically the same time we post part 1.
Yeah.
But if you like this type of stuff, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to whatever platform you are listening, and we will talk to you in the next one.